Hey, it is Coach Kinsey Shae,
Caught me
and
writing stuff down.
I know, Counselor Bobby
Hi.
Merwin.
Hello
Hey,
there.
so we're just going to do, a woman perspective from a coach perspective and a male perspective from a counselor perspective. And
That's a lot of
today,
perspective.
it's a lot of perspective because life is perspective, my friends. There are a lot of
It
perspectives, and
really
that's how
is.
we.
It really is.
So today we're going to talk about, a guide to, mindful body listening. So tuning in, my friends, and taking charge. So let's Gen Xers, let's tune in and take charge. That's the theme of today. And
Okay.
I really think for the most part, a lot of Gen Xers, we think of mindfulness. There's going to be four different kind of categories we go into. The first one, I think
Here's
a
the
lot of
Nina,
Gen
the
X.
Pinta, the Santa Maria. What's the other one?
the, the the first one is like mindfulness and awareness. I think a lot of people think of mindfulness, a lot of practices, they're woo woo, or they get into their head and feel, oh, this is ridiculous. I'm an adult. And I'm sorry,
Uh-huh.
my friends. Be a kid in the Kinsey square. Be a kid in the candy store.
Wow, be a kid in the Kinsey store. There's so many directions to take that. My God.
I know. Nice Kinseyism right
That is.
there.
Kinseyism number 721.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think a practice that really helped me really just get into what my body was feeling, because quite often we look externally outside of ourselves of how we're feeling, like how we're showing up in the world, how productive we
Mm-hmm.
are, whether we have the car, the wife, the husband, the whatever. We externally validate ourselves quite often as
Mm-hmm.
Gen Xers, and sometimes just simply grounding down into yourself and doing a body scan. And you might be, what the hell is a body scan? And it's basically just taking a moment and just
Do I have to
kind
go
of,
woo 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 woo
yeah,
woo woo
yeah.
like when I'm doing it? Okay.
I pretty much, body scans I do pretty much every morning just to see what's going on with my body, because our body will tell us a lot of things. And first and foremost is tapping into your heart space. I say that quite often, because you just listen to the rhythm of your heart, you slow your breathing down, and then you just kind of, like a scanner, you scan yourself from your head down to your feet and just see what's showing up. You might have an ache here. You might have, a random
Oh,
thought happen. And it's just acknowledging those without judgment. This is a judgment free zone and a safety zone, not getting into that, rhetoric in your head,
mm-hmm.
that nasty,
Right.
toxic, So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, so you just imagine, I imagine like the sun just going from my head. I notice how, if my eyes are tight, my jaw is tight, my neck is tight, and if they're tight, I'm like, I see you. I see you. I love you. It's just giving yourself nourishment and acknowledging what actually is going on. And you just do that
Okay.
all the way down to your feet. And I like to say, when you get down to your feet, just say, I'm composting this to the earth. Everything that doesn't serve me and everything to nourish me, I'm going to bring up from the earth and nourish my pain, nourish my angst, nourish my whatever. And I really focus on my breathing. And it's an awesome
Okay.
practice.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe me, when you first do it, because the first time I did it, I'm like, what the hell is this horse shit? I mean, like, I was like, what am I doing? I'm going to be honest,
I know
because,
where my shoulders are. They've been there my whole life. I don't have to check in with them every morning.
but you do, because how often do you, like, you keep on going, and you're like, ooh, ow. I pulled
Right. Well,
something.
let me touch on
Yeah.
something, please, because you said when you were doing this inventory, if I can call it an inventory, you're acknowledging what's going on. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, look, we're over 50, okay? You could hurt something going to sleep, okay? So you
Right.
wake up in the morning, you want to check out and see what's going on. I mean, I give that full validity, and after we were talking about it before the show and now, I'm like, hey, maybe I take a moment in the morning and just go, what does hurt and what doesn't hurt, or what feels good and what doesn't feel good, and compost it. I like your composting idea.
Yeah.
Send the shit
Because
away.
because it serves a purpose. Like you have to release it to something. Like we say all the time, I don't care if it's a doorknob, whether it's God, whether it's the universe, whether it's Mother Gaia. I don't care how woo
Mm-hmm.
woo or not woo woo you get with it. Just
Mm-hmm.
surrender it and it really embrace and accept the nourishment of love for yourself, because that's the essence of it, is releasing what doesn't
Mm-hmm.
serve you and loving and nourishing everything about yourself. And it's super
And if
powerful.
and if Gen X people have any problems at all, one of them is loving themselves.
Yes, self-love is,
Yes.
yes, because we get in this guilt, like toughen up. I mean, but just think about when we were growing up, like our parents are like, stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about, just stuff.
Right. Yeah.
we
Why are you
never
crying? Get me a beer. You know.
we never were allowed to really have emotions, so it's going to feel weird if you've never done it before. And then
It is.
just
You're
to give yourself grace, because
right.
this is
Mm-hmm.
new, you're going to feel resistance, because it doesn't, anything you do that you haven't done before is going
Mm-hmm.
to trigger your ego. This is not safe. This is not safe.
Right. Or it's weird, or it's bougie, or it's woo woo, or whatever. And I want to touch on something really quick, please. You said give yourself grace. We have said that in probably 20 shows. And do you know
Yep.
why? Because it's really, really important
Yep.
in many, many aspects and areas. That's why it keeps getting brought up. It's not because
Yeah.
we don't know what to say. Trust me, between this woman and me, we could talk for 2 hours straight and not miss the beat. Heck, we've
Right.
done it before shows. Okay.
Yep.
But we say, take the time to do that. So please, when we're reiterating that stuff, it's because it's important.
Exactly. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes into just mindfulness and awareness. The first, point of this is, whether that's meditation, your body scan could turn into a meditation. If something shows up, you're going to set
Mm-hmm.
intention on that,
Yeah.
and you're going to meditate and ask for assistance and guidance through God, the universe, through the doorknob, whatever. You don't have to do life alone. And for quite a long time, I felt that I was the lone wolf, that I had to
Mm-hmm.
do everything by myself all the time. And you don't,
Mm-hmm.
because it takes
No, you don't.
community and it takes unity and just
It
having
does.
love for yourself and others. And that cultivates happiness and joy and peace.
We're Gen Xers. There's no happiness. There's no joy. Self-love. Oh my God. No, but it's true. What you're saying is very much gospel. It is a chronic problem that I have with people. I mean, I don't just look at who is coming into my office. One
Mm-hmm.
of the things I look at immediately is what is their age? And
Right?
that's going to tell me a lot right there.
Yeah,
And
because
when they're
there's
in
a
that Gen
lot.
X window, I'm like, okay, I know what I can kind of start to
Yeah.
expect. If I have somebody 73 walk into my office, they're already going to have like 37 jars of pickles at home because that's what they do. They hoard the food. That's
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah.
But Gen X
Yeah.
people, oh, self-love? No, God, I don't deserve
Yeah.
that. I
Get
deserve to
over
work
it.
62 hours a week. 62 hours a
Get-
week and break my back and all that crap. No, you don't. You deserve better. Trust
Put
me, you
some
do.
dirt on it.
Rub some dirt in that, will you? God, you're such a pussy. Get up.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was mimicking my high school coach for
I
football.
know. I
Sorry
know.
about that.
I know. That's why I said it, because we all heard it. And, if there's something that's really causing you angst and you can't release it, journal it out. There's so
Hmm.
much science on how that is a form of release because you're getting it
Hmm.
outside of your head.
I didn't believe it for so long. Got
Yep.
halfway through my master's program, and I had a couple of people that were preaching journaling. And then I started
Yep.
doing it, and I'm like, I feel so much better. I
Right.
do. So
It
yeah,
is.
it's
It's
the truth.
amazing. Yep. So we talked about mindfulness and awareness. And the second point is recognizing and responding to signals. And you might be, signals? What the
Oh,
hell? Are we talking about
oh
traffic lights? What are we talking about?
no. We are talking about when we don't feel well. So remember that scan that Kinsey was talking about during the morning? That's actually more important than you think it is. Because when you
Right.
start passing up little things like the sniffles or a headache or whatever, and you just say, oh, I'll work through it, it's okay.
Yep. Yep.
Sometimes we have to, sometimes we can't. But you know what? You don't want to do that all the time. It's just unhealthy. And I tried to do that, and as you guys know, I was, not here for like almost 2 weeks in March because of how sick I was.
Right.
That's because I wasn't paying attention to my body. I'm
I mean,
guilty.
we don't listen to our body. We get fatigued. Our immune system
Yep.
wears down, and then we beat ourselves up.
Hmm.
This is
Yep.
kind of the Gen X kind of cycle. And then we just keep on hitting harder because that's what we think
Hmm.
we need to do. Um,
What
listening
were we
to,
just saying a minute ago? Get up, you sissy.
yep,
That's what you say in your
yeah,
mind, and it's not healthy to do that.
yeah. And part of that is that you might recognize that you are more fatigued and we are
Hmm.
getting older and focusing more on self-care type of activities, whether it be going for a walk with your dog or going to the gym, going swimming, whatever
Hmm.
you need to do to get your body moving. Because in when I was working as a nurse, if you don't move it, you lose it. So we're we're
Move it or lose
getting,
it.
yep, pretty much. So listen to your fatigue. Listen to that and give yourself some love and kind of
Hmm.
trust your gut because you when you first get up, you feel it but you ignore it. And a good example of this is, you know, I've been having problems with insomnia and I have chronic pain, but I've learned to tell my body I don't want to hear about it until it's about a 6 type of thing because I'm in chronic pain. If I focused on every little pain, I wouldn't get anything done. And,
Right.
but that was good when I was going through my recovery, but it's not so good right now. I have to be more proactive in my approach. So I have to look at my nutritional. I mean, I'm working out and I'm doing my things, but I got a little lax on my proactive supplements I was taking, because I wanted to be
Yeah, I
normal.
got those.
I
Yeah.
wanted to be normal. I don't need to take all these meds or all these supplements.
I
I
don't
just
need all these
wanted,
old people pills. I can be fine. I'm fine. We're
and
not fine. We need the
yeah,
supplements.
yeah. So, I mean, trusting your gut and really just accepting what you feel. Don't say,
Yeah.
oh, I hurt, but it's because of this. You just hurt, and that's okay. You don't need to have a justification, you don't need to have a reason, but there should be a plan on how you're going to keep your body active, how you're going to keep your mind active. It's going to
Hmm.
become increasingly more important as we age because you can tell when I worked as a nurse on the units, you could tell the people that kept their body moving and that kept their mind going, whether it was Suko or puzzles or whatever. I mean, I don't care what you
What's it
do.
called?
Suko or Sudoku, what is it?
Oh, it's Sudoku.
Sudoku, whatever.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. It's just, I love you. It's just Kinseyism, okay? That's all it is. That's why I'm laughing, because you're just cute like that.
I know.
You say words, and they're like, they're almost words, Kinsey. They're so close. They're so close.
That leads into just embrace your quirkiness. My quirkiness
God,
is
yeah.
I mispronounce words all the time, or I mesh
Did
words
you do this before your
together.
accident? I don't mean to interrupt you, but did you do this like this before your accident?
Not as much. No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I was really serious. I didn't know. I thought, oh, this actually might be attributed to that. I
Yeah,
wonder
I
if I'm
didn't
being
do it.
insensitive right now.
No, you're not
Hmm.
being. You're not.
Okay.
You're not. No, after my accident, I noticed it a lot more. I would mesh words together. I think it's because I'm
Hmm.
used to talking really, really fast. And after my accident, I had a concussion. I had a lot of things happen. And yeah, it just I accept it and I embrace it. And now I just kind of, it's just
Hmm.
my personality now. And it's okay. Like
We called them Kinseyisms, and we love them. We just embrace them here. So there you
yes,
go.
yes, yes, yes. And that goes into acceptance. Like accept, where you are and where you want to go, you know? Is me meshing a couple words here and there, is that really hindering anybody? No. Am I going to beat myself up about
Hmm.
it? No. Am I going to do, activities that strengthen, I have an app where it's all about mind exercises. So I do those. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just sharpening your skills. I can't remember the name of the app, but um,
Hmm.
yeah.
I think there's an
So
app actually called Mindful that helps you with that.
there's so many
Yeah.
apps for it. I think it's like Elevate or I can't remember. But, so we talked about mindfulness and awareness. We talked about, really recognizing and, responding to different signals. And,
Hmm.
the third point is just really connecting your body and your mind. And I would even go further of connecting your mind to your heart space, your head space to your heart
Hmm.
space, because that's coherent. And there's a lot of science in heart math where we are coherent with our mind and our heart, that
Hmm.
it really allows your body to heal and boost your immunity. And a lot of that is breathing and focusing on your heart. So just to really pay attention to your breath. Like when you're
Hmm.
breathing and even if you have to touch your heart and feel your heart just to ground down and get some spatial awareness and breathe in and out of your heart and just allow yourself some grace in that time and
Hmm.
space. It is super powerful and it triggers all of those feel good hormones and chemicals to release in your body. Because when we
Yeah.
get angst, when we get worried, it releases all of those chemicals that can cause heart disease and diabetes over time. And so,
Did you say signals?
signals, yeah.
Yeah, good. Because that's exactly what I was going to say. It's funny that you'd say that, because
Yeah.
when we're doing that breathing technique and that exercise, when we're centering ourselves between things,
Mm-hmm.
it reminds me of when I was introduced to yoga,
Yep.
and I am ever grateful that I
Yep.
was. I thought it was woo woo as all get out. I'm like, I'm not
Yep.
doing this yet. This is just hippies, and I've got to wear Birkenstocks and beads. No, I'm not doing this. I loved it.
Yep.
I loved it. And I felt better afterwards. And it's because our body is full of signals. We're sending signals all the time.
Yep. We're just
Okay.
not picking up the phone. We're not getting the we're not picking
Right.
up the line.
It's something that other people don't know, like generations, after us. It's called a busy signal.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't even know what that is, but it's a
No.
busy signal.
So that really goes into it. Like focus on your breathing.
Hmm.
Focus on being active. Get yourself moving. And then another part is, you know, while you're eating, eat slowly. Allow your body grace to eat and to digest. It's a part of
Mm-hmm.
nourishing yourself. It's a part of self love. It's a part of self care.
Mm-hmm.
We're not meant to eat in 3.3 seconds. We're not
No, we're
meant to
not.
eat
And
out all the time, you
the
know?
the military and schools teach us
Yeah.
to eat quickly.
Yeah.
And it is not healthy. Ask any doctor.
Yeah.
They will
It's
tell you,
totally,
you should take a certain amount of time to eat a certain amount of food.
yep. Yep. I mean,
Pardon me.
and it like a lot of, I mean, when I grew up, I don't know about anybody else. It's like, what I put on your plate, you eat. So you get a full plate, you eat the full thing. You're
Yeah.
not listening to your body. You're listening to and we get into that habit. The funny story is like when I first started like dating and I went out on dates and I mean the
Mm-hmm.
meal sizes were huge, even back then in the 90s. And I would be trying to eat all of it because I didn't want to be disrespectful. And I had so many
Mm-hmm.
guys tell me, Kinsey, you don't need to eat the whole thing. You don't need to eat the whole thing. Put in the comments if you ever were told and you had to eat everything on your plate and it
Mm-hmm.
transpired in your dating life.
Yes. I was, like that as a kid. If the plate was put in front of you, you're going to finish it.
Yep.
And my first wife and I, we were very much not going to be that way. You're going to eat what you're given. That's for sure. We're not doing mac and cheese every night. You can screw that idea.
Yep.
We're eating this, you're eating this. But you don't have to eat the whole thing.
Right.
And you can tell when kids are like going, okay, I'm done. You had 2 bites, because they don't like it. I'm like, no, that's not going to work. If they take an effort and they eat and they're like, I wasn't that hungry. I'm like, okay,
Yep.
I get it.
Exactly.
But no, you don't have to eat the whole thing. Unless you're
Yep.
Kinsey out on a date at Big Bob's Big Boy, you know, crushing some pancakes and some eggs and some sausage. Like, I gotta eat this. It's in front of me. Ah, rah, rah. I can just see it. Oh my god, that's just so fun.
Yeah, I mean, I would just
I
be
love
having
it.
like the freaking, we called them the meat sweats or whatever when you got all sweaty and whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the fourth concept that we're going to go into, the fourth thing, is really, and it kind of ties in the mindfulness and the awareness and recognizing and responding to your signals and connecting to your body and mind is pretty much compassion and care. You have to be compassionate.
Self-compassion and care.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Meaning
What does that look
making,
like?
it means like making time for yourself. Do you have a morning ritual every
Oh,
morning? Do
yeah.
you have an evening? Because your body takes cues. So if you do the same thing, you pretty much are putting bookends on your day.
Mm-hmm.
So your body it will be embodied when you start doing an activity, it signals to your body what it needs to do. So if
So if I do the
you,
same thing every night, I'm signaling to my body that it's time to start, titrating down and maybe heading towards
right,
sleep now. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but for a lot of my life, I didn't have no ritual. It was just whatever I wanted to do whenever I wanted to do it, and nobody was going to tell me what I could do. And I think that's very much a Gen X characteristic. So, I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
scheduling those things. I mean, scheduling, and when I say schedule, I'm not talking about, you schedule all the things you have to get done in the week. I'm talking about scheduling your self care first and working everything else around it. That is
Yes, because if you're not
prioritizing
taking care
yourself.
of yourself, you cannot take care of the people around you. Think about when you're on the plane and the oxygen
Yep.
masks drop. They make you put
Yep.
yours on first before your child.
Yep.
Our instinct is to take care of the child, but you have to take care of yourself first.
Yep. So, I mean, part
Mm-hmm.
of self compassion and care, is making time for yourself, but it's also being receptive to your body,
Mm-hmm.
meaning your body is continually sending you signals.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Listening. We need to listen.
yeah. When
Mm-hmm.
when you're struggling, it is a signal to tune in. Your body will show you the
Yeah.
way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, During my accident, I mean, this was very much a part of my story. I surrendered all of the cultural, organizational biases of what I should be doing or how I should be feeling. And I just started doing more natural, homeopathic, doing essential oils, doing meditation, I mean, all of the stuff that a lot of Gen X think is woo woo
Mm-hmm.
actually is grounding activities so you can get to know yourself. Everything we were taught to do was basically, it basically taught us to be emotionless and just do life.
That's very, very true.
Hmm.
You nailed it. I can't believe we got through all 4 of those. Well
I
done.
know. But there's
We
one
did it.
last thing. The one last
Okay.
thing is, and I say this all the time as a nurse, you are your advocate. If something doesn't feel right, you listen to your gut, you ask questions. I don't care if you're at the doctor's office, I don't care if you're in a relationship. If you get that intuitive nudge, investigate it. Whether it be journaling, whether
Yeah.
you need to wrap your head around it first before you talk to somebody, use all the tools that we talked about because
Mm-hmm.
you are your advocate.
Yep. Don't
Because,
ever be afraid to ask questions.
yeah,
Nope. I get it.
communication is a must. A must, and
Mm-hmm.
advocating for your own health, your own well being. Because every single day, my friends, the person that you're going to see in the mirror is yourself. It might not be the partner you're with today. It might not be your circle of people. It might not be,
Mm-hmm.
there's so many changes, but every day you're going to be looking at your face in the mirror. So
That's
it's
funny. I
your
do it
job.
right through my hand as well. That's weird. Huh.
So it's up to you to be mindful and aware of
Mm-hmm.
yourself. It's up to you to recognize and to respond to the signals of
Mm-hmm.
yourself. It's up to you to connect to your body and to your mind. And it's up to you to have self compassion and care and to advocate for yourself.
And it's up to you.
It's up to you.
It's up to you.
It's up to
You
you.
were on such a roll. You said it's up to you like 4 times in a row. And I'm like, that's good. It's up to you. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Because it is. It's true. I mean, I'm taking the piss out of it because I'm having fun. But
Yep.
it really is up to you. Take the time to do some of these things and just notice the changes. Take it
Exactly.
from me. I didn't hear this woo woo shit for a
Yeah.
long time. Now I don't think it's as woo woo.
Right.
I still think some things are woo woo, okay? I'm not 100%. I know that. You know
It's
that,
a
right?
yeah.
You do. But there's so many things that I'm doing now different in my life where I'm like, God, I can't believe that works.
Right.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially the journaling. Oh my gosh. So much relief
Yeah.
from journaling and writing. Ah,
Yep.
can't even tell you. Take that
So,
inventory in the morning, make those bookends, do the things that
mhm.
you need to do in the morning and at night to set that signal. I have those. I do the same exact thing for the first 3 or 4 minutes every morning. And I do the same exact thing before I go to bed every night to tell my body this is now the time to do this.
Right.
And I don't think that it ever, I'm gonna hold on, I'm gonna knock on wood. It ever takes me more than 10 minutes to go to sleep
Right. Right.
because I'm telling my
It's
body this is what we're doing now.
yeah. And it's I mean, you tune in and you can take charge of your life because
Mm-hmm.
when you don't know yourself, how do you expect others to know you if you don't even know yourself?
Perfect. Close it out. That's it. Can't do any better than that. You just nailed it. That was so good. You know, you don't know yourself. How can you expect others to know you? Well
There is
done.
there's a huge cost. There's a huge cost,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So, I
Yeah, you're
mean,
right.
yeah. So, I mean, take charge of your life. Tune in, listen to those signals. If you got value from this, like, subscribe. If you know somebody that would benefit from this,
Mm-hmm.
share.
Send it on.
Yep. If you have questions or if you have suggestions, put those in the comments. We love them very
Mm-hmm.
much. And so we do this from our hearts to your hearts because this is our overflow. We needed
Yep.
a lot of people doing stuff like this in our journey, and it
Mm-hmm.
has assisted and aided in ours because we didn't know all this crap 10 years ago, or
No.
we're still learning. So this is a
Nope.
community where it's a safe space to learn and to
Mm-hmm.
grow and to really just tune into your intuitive self and just love yourself, my friends. Just love yourselves.
Yes. I know
Yeah,
it's weird. I know it's different as a Gen X person, but please just take the time to love yourself. You'll thank yourself later.
exactly.
Okay?
Tune in, take charge.
Yes. Turn on, tune in, and drop out. No, wait, that's LSD. Damn it.
All
I knew
right.
I'd mix that up somewhere.
We will see you guys all next week. We love you.
Yep, hope
Take
so.
care.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.